Welcome to today's Lunch and Learn. My name's Sally. I'm the Associate Director of the Milgard Center for Financial Wellness, and this is one of those Lunch and Learns that we do on repeat every single fall because it's so important and relevant to every single one of us through really now and the rest of your lives. I'd like to introduce our speakers from Sound Credit Union. We have Jen Reed and Amber Warren with us today, and they are experts on all things credit union, banking. Before I hand it over to them, I just want to plug the Financial Literacy Scholarship. So it's still open through November 22nd. And this is a scholarship that's generously funded through Sound Credit Union. And so we do a video submission. It's kind of unique. You do a 1-minute video submission about a financial literacy topic that you're interested in or already practicing. And you send that and do a very quick little form. And you could be eligible to win $1,000 for winter quarter tuition. So take a look at this. Open again all the way through November up until the 22nd. So pretty easy to apply for. And if you need help, you can use the multimedia lab on campus. They do drop-in, walk-in hours. So if you're not super technical or never made a video before, you can go in there and they'll help you piece together your product. And if you want to use images or graphics or things like that, they'll help you do that too. So welcome to the Lunch and Learn. I'm going to turn it over to our speakers.
Thanks, Sally. Hi, everybody. I'm Jen. It's nice to see you. You may have saw me here a few times, or my colleague Amber here. We're with Sound Credit Union, and has anybody heard of Sound before? Yeah, great. Awesome. We have 25 branches in the area, but our closest one is literally about a football field away, over off of 13th and Broadway, so we're right here. But we love to come out, and we're not here to pitch the credit union. We're here to really help build financial confidence. And we know that the topic of banking can be boring, not very exciting, but it's something we really need to focus on as just humans, and gaining a better understanding of how we can help ourselves and understand where our money is going, finding tools and resources that are going to benefit us more so than the financial institution. It's all about you and building relationships and working with a financial partner who can really help you. So we'll go over the basics today, but we really want to keep this kind of an open forum. So if we're going through things, if you have questions, don't hesitate to raise your hand, share your story, ask questions. That's how we all learn and get better. Amber and I will probably share several stories, whether they're about our own personal lives and things that we've ran into, or sharing what we've experienced with members that we've worked with at the credit union. So with that, let's get started. So some of you said that you've heard of Sound. Do you know the difference between a credit union and a bank? So there is a difference. We're both financial institutions. We offer similar products, whether it's checking, savings accounts, loans, credit cards, personal loans, auto loans, home loans, all those kinds of things. But credit union is not-for-profit financial institution. So what that means is, like a bank, their profits are going back to their shareholders. So they're making decisions on behalf of those shareholders and how it'll benefit them. As a not-for-profit financial institution, our hope is to provide those that we're working with, whether it's our members, our employees, community, and connecting them with tools and resources that are benefiting them. So as we're going through and making decisions, we're trying to determine where our members are in the community and how we can help better serve them. At the same time, we really believe in giving back to our community. So being here today, this is how we build stronger communities. Again, we're not here to sell Sound. We're here to connect you with tools that'll benefit you and help you make sound decisions in your life. When you join a credit union, you are an owner of that institution. So your voice matters. You can call and talk to our staff. And don't be surprised if your call gets escalated to our CEO, who's one of the nicest people you've ever met, and his door is open to his employees and to the members of the credit union. every day. He will have a conversation. These things happen. You may not, at a larger financial institution, you may not run into that experience. So I think that that's what sets us apart, makes us unique in knowing that you really are going to build a relationship, whether it's with our frontline staff or with our CEO. We are both insured, meaning by up to $250,000 for each account. So if you open an account at a financial institution, those funds are backed by, if it's the credit union, it's the NCUA, so the National Credit Union Association, and with a bank, it's the FDIC. So two different regulators, but those funds are protected. So you may have heard of banks that have gone under recently, and people were out money if they had more than $250,000, because that is not insured. But if you have less than $250,000 in a checking savings account, that would be protected for you. So looking at benefits on your accounts. So how many people have heard about somebody who didn't have a checking account or savings account and the money that they had at their house went missing? Anybody hear a story like that? So Sally, who was just here and introduced us, she told me a story when I first met her about her brothers, or her husband and his brother, who they started a business when they were younger. They were out mowing lawns or doing something like that, and they would keep all the money that they would get paid in the glove compartment of their truck because they knew it would be there, it would be safe, and they weren't worried about somebody breaking into the car. Very trustworthy. Well, it wasn't somebody who was breaking into the car. It was the mice who got into the car and into the glove compartment and ate all of the cash that they had in their glove compartment. So all that hardworking money that they had wasn't insured, and it was no longer there when they went to use it because the mice got a hold of it. So thinking of how you can protect yourself and have your money safe, working with a financial institution where you can have a checking or savings account, that's what it's there for. And it helps you track your expenses, right? There's a lot of times if I have cash in my pocket, I may not keep the receipts, and it seems to go way quicker than if I'm using a debit card or a credit card. So it helps me track. I can see where the money is being spent. My husband will go get his haircut, and before I get home, I'll look at our bank account and know that he went and got his haircut. And he's like, I can't keep any surprises from you. You always know where I've gone and what money I've spent. And I'm like, that's what I like, because I need to know where our money's going. I need to track it and make sure we're spending it appropriately. There's budgeting tools that are out there so that you can see how much you're spending towards housing, transportation, insurance, food, how many eating out, right? Ever look at how much you spend each month eating out? It adds up, especially with the prices going up right now, right? It's crazy. You can't go out for dinner under $50 anymore. So those are great ways. It's keeping great reasons to have a checking or savings accounts. Security of your funds, making sure that they're insured. Interest earning, so checking, savings accounts, high yield accounts, CDs, interest is going to occur and you can make money. You have the option to do person-to-person payments. So many of us have probably used Venmo in here to either send money or others send money to you. It's a great tool that can help benefit you. Quick money, you don't have to worry about having cash. There's free checking accounts that are out there. Highly recommend if you can have an account that's free, it's going to benefit you. Making sure that there's bill pay. You can schedule your payments. You can send them out automatically. You don't have to worry about mailing them. The theft that goes on in the mail, it automatically goes out. You don't have to worry about it. And then a debit card, it can benefit you so that you can utilize it, whether you're in a different part of the United States, internationally, anything like that when you're traveling.
So I'm going to speak to you about choosing an account. So when it comes to choosing an account, you really want to look at what your financial needs are. Are we looking at just having a savings account? Are we going to want to have access to our account with having a debit card? And then what are we doing this account for? Is this account going to benefit for you? Is this account going to benefit for a business? Or is it going to be for a minor? Those kinds of things. And then what types of services would you want to opt into? Because if we're looking at doing one type of account, maybe it doesn't come with certain services. Like for example, a checking account would come with like a bill pay and a debit card, but just a savings account, you wouldn't have that option. And so another thing to look at when you're looking for an account is the cost for those accounts, right? And so how much is it going to cost me to maintain my account? Is the checking account going to be free? Will I have access to bill pay? Am I going to be writing checks? Maybe. Not. That's kind of not really a great form of paying people nowadays because it's got full account information on it. So if you have bill pay, it can mail a check for you and you don't have to pay for stamps. And then person-to-person payments. So Venmo is something that would be like a person-to-person payment, Zelle, Cash App. Some institutions will have their own person-to-person payment option to go through your bank account directly instead of having to load a debit card or your full account information into one of those third-party apps. So these are all things that you can look for when you're thinking about establishing an account if you don't already have one established or you want to increase whatever services that you have currently. So here's an example of what Sound Credit Union offers for the accounts that we have at our institution. And so when I'm looking at this, I'm looking and I'm seeing that I've got the primary savings account. So with a credit union, it's a little different from a bank. And so we're not for profit, we're member owned, so you have to have membership to the credit union. Your membership is a savings account, so we're automatically going to sign you up for a primary savings account. You can see that there's no minimum balance to have it to open it, and you can earn money on the money that you have in your account, so you can get a monthly dividend payout. If you have a minimum of $100, you get an annual percentage yield of 0.05%. Now, if you come in and you're going to talk to me and you want to have that savings account and you're looking at having the savings account established and you're wanting to earn more money on your money, we might look over and discover like more like a better type that maybe you'll fit in. A money market would be a great option. Some financial institutions have a minimum balance for their money market, so that's something to be wary of. But if you look at that, you can see that you earn 2%. Is the money market on that? Yes. Oh, excuse me, it's 0.25%.
That might be outdated.
It is a little outdated. It's 2%. The market has shifted significantly since this has come out. Deposits are actually gaining more interest, and so that's why you're seeing interest rates increase for different things. And so it can go up and down, but so at this point when we had this, that is what was offered. And so that's something else to look at. And then you can also look at different things, like if you are looking at long-term savings, there's certificates of deposits, which are like an additional savings account. And it's kind of like a contract where you would keep your money in that specific account for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, whatever term you decide on. Now you're looking at checking accounts. Checking accounts all differ, and they can all come with a different perk. And so, of course, free checking, no minimums to that, but then you can do other accounts like the sound debit, interest, cashback checking, and most financial institutions are offering some type of special checking account. So I will get into different types of checking accounts. So on the last slide, there was a few different types that were listed. So the sound debit account, this is just a simple checking account that we offer with a zero minimum balance. It's just a debit card. There's no bill pay attached to it. You can get cashier's checks and money orders if needed for free up to a certain amount, and then there's a fee. And then you don't have to pay a monthly maintenance fee if you sign up for different things. Like most of the time for different financial institutions that you're going to sign up for an electronic statement instead of a paper statement. And then maybe you have a direct deposit go into that account, so then it would be free. And then if you're looking for a different type of checking or savings account that is free, there are many resources that you can go to. And so this is Bank On, where you can go and actually compare on their website different checking accounts at different financial institutions for your benefit to see where you would land. So for opening an account, so there's different types of things that you're going to need when you're opening an account. Most commonly, absolutely, you're going to need some kind of state or government issued ID that has a photo and then more than likely a signature. So then that's why we say driver's license, passport, military ID. And then a secondary form of identification is always good to have with you. I know a lot of folks don't carry their social security card, but if that's something that that's your chore for the day and you want to take that with you, absolutely. A student ID, a library card, some kind of membership card. I've seen many people bring me Costco cards. And then another thing to keep in mind when you're opening a new account, especially if you don't have an address listed on your driver's license or on your passport, or it's changed, maybe some form of address verification, like some utility bill that you might have, or a statement that you've recently gotten. Better, more than not enough, I always say. And then you're also going to need to know certain things about yourself, right? So, of course, social security number, your mailing address, and then if you're under the age of 18, then you would need a parent or a guardian to help you with establishing that account. And then that goes for if you're helping a minor open an account, same thing. Like they need to have you with them.
You are spot on making sure bringing more than not enough. I recently went to go renew my passport with my family, and we did not bring everything we needed. So whether it's passports or going to open accounts, always look before you go somewhere to ensure what you need to bring. I had no idea that I had to have my checkbook with me when I get to redo our passports. And because I didn't have it, I had to pay the passport people like with my credit card, and then they did a check for me. I was like, oh, good to know.
A little archaic, they want to check that that's
Right.
how they do it. Everybody has their own way of doing things. And so, you can always call ahead to find out what's needed as well. And so, and just give them the scenario. They may ask you probing questions, hopefully, in order to steer you in the right direction. But nowadays, we all have a phone in our pocket. And if I'm going to try to not have you leave, if you're working and you have a pay stub and it's got your address on it, let's get that and download it, and I'll send you a secure email. You can upload it, and we'll move forward from there. So trying to find a solution with that. I think we've all been there at one point, right? Yeah. Not having something with us that we need, like my chapstick. I'm just kidding.
So thinking about expectations and what you should expect out of yourself as well as the financial institution. So check all transactions for accuracy and potential of fraud. How many of you are checking your checking accounts on a daily basis or your credit cards? That's awesome. Not enough people do that. We see fraud happening constantly. I have a 17-year-old. He thinks that he doesn't have a credit card yet. He thinks he can just order things online with his debit card. I'm like, please stop doing that. You are gonna I tell him about my mom who does that all the time, and then she calls Amber because she used her debit card online and then somebody got a hold of it. Checking your account statements, your account balances regularly to see what's coming in, what's going out. It'll provide you more confidence in knowing how you're spending your money, what's coming in, and how you can manage it. At the same time, it's the financial institution's responsibility to monitor for fraud. So we have a risk management team. Every financial institution will have one that is monitoring the latest of what's going on. We'll have members call us. What was the latest one you just told me about this morning? Somebody who, they're getting really good. The one with the pop-up on the...
Oh, yeah, so she got a pop-up on her computer that told her to call this phone number because there was some kind of fraud, and throughout the conversation they had convinced her somehow that they were with the credit union and that they needed to call the phone number that was on the back of her debit card. So they had her read the phone number on the back of her debit card and then pretended to call the credit union and had somebody impersonate the credit union to confirm the quote-unquote fraud that was happening on her account. And so it turned into a big, long conversation that she had with them over many hours. And unfortunately, she was taken advantage of. And so that's why you do get these probing questions when you come in, because we want you to trust us, because I would hope that you could trust me with your money. Your money is insured. But the only reason I'm asking these questions is because I work here and I've experienced this through other people's eyes many times. So when you're getting asked of, why are you doing this withdrawal? Are you sure that you need to take this out in cash? Maybe we can take this out as a check because a check is more secure. Cash could be eaten by mice or taken by a crook. And so it's just so important to know that you're never going to be asked for your bank account information, and your bank is never going to call you asking for money unless it's true that your account went negative or whatever. But that's why it's so important to be checking your account and monitoring these things, because then you're going to see that my account balance is low. And they don't call you right away. They wait a couple weeks to call you. You got to be negative for a little while before you get that phone call.
So looking at the next one, your responsibility is to know your balance. Set up whether you have text alerts, email alerts, letting you know what's coming in, what's going out. At the same time, humans work at financial institutions. Yes, we have computer systems that are in place to assist us, but at the end of the day, we are humans. Errors happen. So don't ever hesitate if something looks that like it's not accurate on your account. Advocate for yourself and call your financial institution and have a conversation. But it's their job to post direct deposits and manage that. Don't give someone your account info. We cannot express that enough to you. Just like Amber was saying, whether it's pop-ups, these people will call, they will pretend that they're a financial institution, they will pretend they're somebody else, and they act like they're your friend. They are not. They are there to take advantage, and they will. Get the balance updates, keep your receipts. I struggle with this one, to be honest, but keeping your receipts, it will help you to manage and make sure things are accurate, and that what's posted to your account matches what that receipt says. Financial institutions will not give out your account info to anyone, not on the account. So if you have a family member and you want them to have access to your account, if they're not listed on there, they cannot have access to your account without being an authorized signer on that account. And then the last couple things for you to keep in mind is to know what your fees are, what are associated with them. Make sure you're monitoring if there's increases on those fees, and make sure that it's working into what you can afford. You know, a lot of us, even if we're thinking about like credit cards, right? There's annual fees on a lot of credit cards. Am I using this card so that that fee that is associated with that is worth that investment for me? Just things to think about every time. And then asking questions. Be curious. Don't be afraid to, again, advocate for yourself and making sure you understand all the products and services that are available to you that will benefit you. Understand holds placed on deposits. So we just had this pop up on social media today with somebody who came into our branch. They were a new member and they deposited a physical check. How many people still deposit physical checks? A couple of you? Is direct deposit an option for you with possibly with employers or anything like that? Just something to think about? No? Okay. Hopefully maybe employers will change that, but that does make it hard, right? If you're doing a physical check and your financial institution doesn't know you, they may have a hold in place on that check and they won't release the funds for so many days. So we have a process like that because we've had people take advantage of the system and we have to protect our members' money. So if you can do direct deposit, it will benefit you. The funds go in right away. This person who was upset that we were holding a check, we found out that it was a payroll check. We reached back out to them. We followed up with the other financial institution, verified that the funds are there, and then we released the hold. So we try to do the right thing, but we need to understand the whole story so that we can help people that way.
That typically only happens while you're establishing a relationship as well, just because there are processes in place. And so I don't necessarily work on the teller line, but I do lead them. And so oftentimes I'll get the ask about them, and yes, we will. We always try to do the right thing.
Yeah.
So bring your pay stub if you've got it too. That would be better more than not enough, right?
How many of you know your direct deposit schedule of when you're going to get paid? I do. In fact, my husband should have just gotten his deposited 5 minutes ago. So I definitely know when the direct deposits are coming in. It's so important to know that. See if your financial institution has early pay. That's a really nice bonus. I like to get paid early. So we have a program that As soon as the funds come into our account via ACH, so that it's that electronic transfer of funds, once they hit Sound Credit Union, those funds are released to our members. So your money is with you right away. If my husband didn't have direct deposit, he wouldn't get his actual paycheck until Friday, and we wouldn't have access to those funds right away. But they came in today, and now they're already in our account. Again, understand your fees. Know what happens if you overdraft. So nobody wants to pay an overdraft fee. So it's great to have a savings account that's set up if you can do something like that. If you pay yourself first, put money away, and then protect yourself. Know how much, when your funds are getting low, if you need to make a transfer, do that. Also at the same time, see if there's overdraft protection where funds will move from one account to another to protect you so you don't incur those fees, because man, those add up. And we can't just let people overdraft their accounts constantly. As a financial institution, we have to be smart and make sure that we're not allowing people to overdraft their accounts constantly and then not be able to pay those funds back.
And that's a service. So if that's something that you ever wanted to have or to not have, it should be something that you can choose to have or not have at any time.
Yeah, and then just know how electronic transfers and cash apps work. If you are with a financial institution, use that app all the time, transfer money back and forth, transfer it to other people. It's nice to have your accounts right at your fingertips.
Sometimes they're not instant. We have it's gone, I can't tell you what I call it. It's in limbo, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
For just a day or two. And then this is how you can access your money. So there's so many different ways that we can access our money nowadays. So like with the credit union, there are thousands of credit unions nationwide that participate in something called the co-op network. So you can use the ATMs for free. So if you have a bank account or you have a credit union account and it's got some kind of logo on the back of your debit card where you're going to use the ATM, you should be able to use those ATMs surcharge free. Oftentimes, if you're just in a pickle and you need to use it, there may be an ATM fee associated, but that's something that you can look for. Your phone, you get access to real time what's going on in your account, unless things are in limbo, right? And you've got a check that's waiting to clear or you're waiting for a deposit to come in. Your debit card, Visa, MasterCard, these are widely popular. They're internationally accepted everywhere. You could write a check. You could Apple Pay, it's really popular. Also, maybe helps you with online purchases you shouldn't do at 11 o'clock at night. And then Venmo, and then is that the Cash App one?
Yeah.
I don't have the Cash App, I should. Sounds convenient.
No, but Amber just said something that was really good, and that is talking about making purchases online. We all have Amazon, we're always ordering stuff, and sometimes that spending can get out of control. If that's something you run into, don't hesitate to take your digital wallet out of your account so that you don't have to. So you get up and have to physically go get the card and really think, do I really need to make this purchase? Because it's really easy to just click and be like, yeah, it's on the way, I'll be here tomorrow.
Then you might regret it and then you don't want to return it because it's too much work.
Yeah.
This one is managing your account. So there's different services that you can do in different bank account platforms. So such as you can do mobile deposit. So you don't even need to go to the bank or the ATM. You can do that in the comfort of your own home. There are parameters that you have to meet within that, capturing the image clearly, signing the back of the check a certain way. Bill pay. You can sit down and do all of your bills and you don't have to write any checks out. You can upload everything. And then the best one, card controls. I get to control my card wherever I'm at. I misplaced it. I went out to dinner. I don't think the waitress gave me my card back. Oh my gosh, I can just turn it off. I'll head back to the restaurant and make sure that she still has it. She did. All right, now I've got it, and I can turn that little baby back on and go back to business as usual. So you get full control from your account, from your online banking at your fingertips. Pretty great. Other ways that you can manage your account? You can absolutely connect outside, like put all of your accounts together within your bank account. A lot of institutions will offer this where you can attach different things to be able to see them. You can connect with your full account number to these different apps. And then also looking at budgeting tools that are within your bank accounts app, because you can see and it can divvy up for you what you're spending for going out, what you're doing for entertainment, what you're doing for household or gas or whatever it may be. So then maybe you can adjust that. Some are really fun and they put them in little bubbles for you. Some are uncategorized and then you have to go in and play the game and do it.
Has anybody ever heard of Clio? Have you guys saw Clio? It's pretty a cool app. It will connect to your bank accounts when you set it up, but Clio will throw shade at you if you overspend, or she'll congratulate you when you're doing good. So there used to be a little salad place down here off of Pack Ave that I'd run to during the week to get a salad if I forgot my lunch. Well, a salad was costing me $15. So at the end of the month, Cleo looked at all my expenses, and she's like, you went to Crisp Greens 4 times and spent $100 on lunch. And just like literally threw shade at me, and I was like, I do not need $100 on salads throughout the month. I could have gone and gotten everything to make that for $25 or less, you know? So it like really helped me to reevaluate like going to Starbucks every morning or going out to lunch more than I needed to. And it helped me to cut back. I appreciated that it threw shade at me and kind of put me in my place. So there's lots of tools that are out there. I think that's a great one. Yeah?
Yeah. So this actually, when uploading in things into bill pay, it will give you full control of your bill pay if you chose to have it. But you could also set things up as a reoccurrence. So the way that the bill pay works is you take the bill that you have and you need to input all the information. So it'll either send a check or it'll send it automatically through an ACH to the other institution or the other collector that's collecting the funds. So you have full access and you can upload all of them and you can delete them. This is my preferred method of paying my bills, and I also have a preferred method of budgeting, and it's changed throughout the years and I'm sure it will change in the future, but it's kind of go with the flow with it. Some of these payees are common, and so you don't have to put in addresses because they'll just pre-populate, but you definitely want to make sure that you have your bills with you when you're doing this. You have a question? This is going to be in your online banking. If you have a checking account, then you should have access to the bill pay. And there should be a bill pay tab for you to be able to access bill pay. You may have to opt in and agree to something, and then you can move forward with uploading your payees.
The one thing to think about with bill pay, it is a fabulous tool. But financial institutions, like you may set the date, like say you set up bill pay to go out today, and it's after 1 o'clock and you set it up. Well, the financial institution may not release the funds for the next day or so. So like if you have a specific date that it's due, plan it accordingly and know that it doesn't always happen overnight. Every financial institution does theirs differently. So
That's a good point. I just paid a utility bill last week, and today it sends a paper check to that company because there's so little. And just today I saw that check cleared, but I was able to go into my online banking and click on the check. I knew the amount, but I still had to click on the check just to see the image because it's fun to see something I didn't sign.
So understanding, how many people create a budget every month? That's great. People do not create a budget. It's awesome if you do. It helps you really see a better idea of where your money is going, right? These tools that we are looking at, they can help you with that as well. You can set it up so you know that how much is going towards housing, eating out, food, wants versus needs, all those things. But setting up a budget, use tools that are going to help you understanding your finances and where it's going. It provides you stability. So that is something like when I'm looking at my bank account on a daily basis, it provides me more confidence and just like I have control of knowing where my money is going. Planning for the future. I mean, we all want to go on vacation. We want to save our money for things that we're excited for. Maybe it's to move out and buy a home. Maybe it's to go into a bigger apartment or buy a car, things like that. We want to set goals. Well, if you can do that by setting a budget and making sure you're following living within your means. That is a really big thing that we need to work on in this country. Credit is really easy to live off of and not necessarily something that's going to help us benefit. It causes stress if we don't understand how we're spending our money and living within our means. So budgeting can really help with that. So use a tool that works for you. Everybody's different. Some people may want to use online tools that are from their financial institutions, these other apps that we're talking about, and others may stick to the old-fashioned Excel spreadsheet or live with a envelope system where they're sticking cash and only certain cash goes into those. Be careful with that, because if somebody breaks into your house and steals your money or the mice get it, that can backfire on you.
I used to do that. I used to envelope system, and then I discovered that I can have more than one savings account or more than one checking account. And then, like I said, budgets evolve, or the way that you do them evolve over time. So that's something to think about too, is that you don't necessarily have to keep it as cash. You could have more than one checking account. Make one for bill pay. That's where all my bills come out of. Make the other one for all the wants that you have.
And on that note, something that I do, I have another financial institution that we have checks or automatic direct deposits come out of our paychecks every month or every week, and it automatically goes over to that other financial institution. It's not necessarily convenient for me to get to. I don't have a debit card for it. I don't have any way. If I want that money, I either have to call our co-op or I have to physically drive down there and access the money that way. So if I need that money, I really need it. The nice part is that it automatically comes out of my paycheck. I've paid myself first because I treat myself as a bill, and that's really important. But I'm putting money away for an emergency or hopefully a vacation or some experience that I can enjoy and help myself that way. So.
Don't beat yourself up if you can't pay yourself first. I was just on a medical leave. I had a knee surgery. Couldn't pay myself first.
Yep.
And for the first time last week, I was able to put money in savings again. I was like, yeah, woo!
That's a great point about like budgeting, right? Life happens. You can set this budget up and hope to stay there and have funds going here and here and there, but an emergency happened. You're out on medical leave. You weren't expecting it, so you may need to make some adjustments so that you can still pay your bills and make sure you don't get too far behind in debt or anything like that.
Pay your bills, maybe not have fun, but also order food sometimes.
Who's heard of the 50-30-20 rule? Anybody? Yeah, a couple of you? That's great. Are any of you using it? Yeah? Good for you. That's awesome. So 50%, the way this works is 50% of your needs are going there. So that's thinking about like your housing, utilities, food, transportation, all those things that you need to survive in life, right? Hopefully 30% is going towards wants, because we still need to treat ourselves, but understand how much is going and monitoring that, and then put 20% towards savings. And 20% might be high for some people, so you might need to adjust that. But if you can put 20% away, maybe it's through retirement, maybe it's into a savings account, whatever works for you. Everybody's story is going to be different. But if you try to set these goals up and run with this is not a bad concept to help you achieve your goals and dreams.
We spoke about this just a little bit ago. Your financial institution is never going to call or email or ask you for your PIN or password to your online banking. Any of your account number, we have those things, or any kind of sensitive information. There may be verification questions, but we're not going to ask you for full information from them. Be skeptical. That's okay. Hang the phone up and call us. Don't call the phone number back that they had. Call the phone number that's on the back of your card. Call the phone number that you find on the app or online for your credit union or your bank. And then, because there are caller ID tricks that they can put it in and make it seem like they're calling you from the 253 number, but they're not calling you from a 253 number. They're calling you from somewhere else.
Especially right now during election season, that one's hot.
Yeah, and then make sure that you contact your financial institution. I get nearly every day right now, I get somebody that comes in and they're like, I got a weird text message, I got a weird phone call. So my follow-up question is, what was the conversation like? Did you answer it? Did you respond? If it's no and it was full stop, you absolutely did the right thing. No, I didn't, and I had no idea, and so I came here, and that's why I wanted to ask about this. You absolutely did the right thing. I had a young lady come in, she had somebody on the phone telling her that she owed money. And she couldn't say it out loud because they were on the phone asking for a piece of paper, and I could see the worry in her face. The relief that she felt that she didn't truly owe this money when I told her, I could see it kind of wash away from her, and then the regret set in, like I did something bad. Absolutely not. You did the right thing. You didn't give them anything. Don't ever be skeptical. Absolutely. Put your guard up every time. It's your money, and your money matters.
And it's happening constantly. These people want you to go get cash, put it in a Bitcoin machine down in Fife. We hear about it all the time. One of our own team members, her mom, taken advantage of this exact way. Somebody was sending her text messages, then conversations started. It's just, they're really sophisticated, and we cannot educate people enough. And you might think that you're ahead of the game, but they're really tricky every day, and we're learning more and more scams. So just be careful and think twice before giving anybody money.
And you can hang the phone up. They want to keep you on the phone and try to convince you. Sometimes they can.
And share this information with your family, your friends. Let them know it is happening constantly. So we can't just reiterate enough. Like, we could do a whole different one on the latest schemes that are out there, and we still won't keep up with them. The romance scheme is hot again. It's happening constantly, and they're just taking advantage of people. So be careful. But with that, can we answer any questions? We know it's not the most exciting conversation, but it is important that we have these discussions. So if we can answer any questions, we'd love to. And if you don't have questions, that's okay. But we're here on campus quite a bit. If there's other topics that you would like to hear about, please share those with Sally. Let her know so that we can look into how we can come in and help connect you all with different tools and resources that benefit you. We're here to help. So we appreciate your time. We're just down the street, so if there's any questions that ever come up, please don't hesitate to stop in and see Amber, email us, give us a call. We're always here to help. But thank you for your time today, and it's great to see everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you, everybody.